In the introduction of Jane Austen's Sense and Sensibility, readers meet the widowed Mrs. Dashwood and her three daughters, Eleanor, Marianne, and Margaret, after the death of their father, Henry Dashwood. The girls are forced to leave their home at Norland Park, which is now the inheritance of Henry's son, their half-brother John. Despite John's promise to care for his stepmother and half-sisters, his greedy wife Fanny manipulates him into providing the least financial support possible. Eleanor is sad to leave the company of family shy brother Edward, for whom she has feelings in the rising action. Sir John Middleton, a wealthy relation, provides a cottage for the Dashwoods on his estate. Barton Park, the Dashwood sisters meet Sir John's friends, including Colonel Brandon, an older gentleman in his 30s. Brandon falls in love with Marianne, but Marianne is more interested in a charming young bachelor, John Willoughby. They act like they're engaged until Willoughby leaves suddenly and breaks off contact, perplexing Eleanor and breaking Marianne's heart. Lucy Steele confides to Eleanor that she and Edward have been secretly engaged for several years. This shocks Eleanor and makes her pity Edward. She reasons that he had grieved the engagement while young and naive, and now likely regrets it. Mrs. Jennings, the mother of Sir John's wife, Lady Middleton, invites Marianne and Eleanor to spend the winter with her in London. Eleanor is relieved to escape the Steele sisters, while Marianne hopes to see Willoughby and get answers about his disappearance at a party. The sisters see Willoughby with another young woman he treats and Marianne coldly. Soon they're all shocked to learn of Willoughby's marriage to Miss Grey, an heiress. Colonel Brandon divulges Willoughby's sordid past to Eleanor. Willoughby's a known seducer of women. He left Colonel Brandon's ward, Eliza, pregnant and ruined shortly before turning his attentions to Marianne. Meanwhile, Fanny becomes enraged to learn of Lucy's and Edward's engagement, and Mrs. Ferrars, Edward's mother, disowned him and cuts off his inheritance. Colonel Brandon offers him the position of vicar at Delaford, Brandon's estate. Eleanor and Marianne, both heartbroken, but for different reasons, visit the Palmers in Cleveland there. Marianne falls ill. Willoughby shows up and confesses all to Eleanor. He chose to marry a wealthy woman after his aunt cut off his inheritance. In the climax of the novel, Edward visits the Dashwoods and reveals that Lucy ended their engagement to marry his younger brother Robert, now free to marry Eleanor. Edward proposes, and the couple takes up residence at Delaford. In the falling action, Edward reconciles with his mother and earns back his inheritance. Eleanor and Edward marry and live happily ever after in Delaford. In the resolution, Marianne comes to love Colonel Brandon. They marry, and soon both sisters are living at Delaford, safe and comfortable in their homes, and matched with appropriate husbands, just in time for their little sister Margaret to begin thinking of marriage.